Court of the Rings recap May 26th. Starting off, we're going to look at some upcoming events. Next Wednesday on May 31st, we're getting update 36. So Court finally confirmed update 36 is scheduled to go live on Wednesday. And a quick note, Shadowfax is also scheduled to go down on Wednesday for those who play on Shadowfax. Also on Wednesday, we get Gwathrenos Tier 4, and this should activate at noon server time. June 1st, we'll see the Hobnanigans return. Then a bit further into June, on June 7th, Treebeard will increase the level cap to level 85. The day after, on June 8th, and the Midsummer Festival will start, and this year has new rewards that you can get. And 2 weeks after Gwathrenos Tier 4, on June 14th, we get Gwathrenos Tier 5. So the final tier of the new raid. For the next couple of weeks, we have some news for the Court of the Rings weekly show. Next Friday will be no Court of the Rings, because Court will not be there. And in 2 weeks, so not next Friday, but the Friday after that, Severlin will be on the show with a Q&A as usual, as we've seen before. Q&A with Severlin in 2 weeks' time on Court of the Rings. As we saw in the beginning of the video, update 36 will arrive on next Wednesday. So a brand new update with new content for players to dig into. And one of the biggest news, there's a new storyline beginning. And this storyline will basically be the new Black Book of Mordor. But the name of this new storyline is The Songs of Waves and Wind. And as usual, you need VIP to access this content. And I also like the name The Songs of Waves and Wind. Kind of sounds like we're going on the ocean, you know? I have a feeling this storyline will take us to Umbar at some point. So the Songs of Waves and Wind. So waves and wind obviously correlates with the ocean where there's waves and wind. So eventually this storyline will probably take us to Umbar with the next level cap later this year. With update 36, we get the King's Gondor landscape update. This update will be free to VIP as normal, and if you're not VIP, you'll have to buy the Gondor Renewed quest pack if you want to do the quests in the new King's Gondor zone. To get to the new King's Gondor, you have to travel to Minas Tirith after battle, and then just ride south into the new zone. Currently, we can quest in Eastern Gondor, all the way up to Linhir, where the gates will be closed, and the Western Gondor is currently unavailable. But like I've said, I've always suspected that Western Gondor will be part of the new expansion later this year. I feel like Western Gondor will be like the first few levels of that expansion before eventually we go south to Umbar and Harad. But if you want access to this new King's Gondor quest pack, you either need to be VIP or you have to buy the quest pack Gondor Renewed. With update 36, we're getting landscape difficulty, and if people have played on legendary servers, you might be familiar. The Hardened Traveler will be in most major hubs and most starting zones. When you make a new character, you can select difficulty from tier 1 through 9, I believe. And if you select tier 3 or higher, you can get unique deeds for getting to level 50 and level 130. And new for this system on the live servers, there's a new faction, Pass of Valor, where you can earn tokens in landscape and barter for some nice rewards. I've seen some morale potions, some power potions, and some really cool legendary emotes that you can earn with this system. With update 36, there's also new updates to the Delvings system. For the first time, we're getting Delvings in a 6-man. The Anuminas and the Great Barrow instance clusters will now be available to run as Delvings. And for the system itself, there's some rewards changes. For example, the crafting boxes that you get on tier 7 and higher can now be deconstructed into writs. And there's some new barter items at the barter. Mainly, I believe, purple essences, some power and morale pots, and I believe maybe a couple of pets were also added. There's some new stuff you can barter for with the new delving system in update 36. Also with update 36 we get new craftable essences. So the best purple, the Delvers essence, and the worst teal, the lively essence box, will be craftable with this update, where you can either craft it normally with the universal solvents and shards, or you can use your malleable essences if you have some of those stockpiled. So Delvers and lively essence craftable with update 36. When it comes to instances, we already know Delvings are getting the Anuminos and Great Barrows for this update, but Tier 4 of the Gwathrenos raid opens this Wednesday on noon server time, and then Tier 5 will be exactly 2 weeks later on that Wednesday at noon server time. So Tier 4 on this Wednesday, and then 2 weeks later Tier 5 will arrive. Also, with this update, the locks for the raid should now work properly and be more like we've seen in Hidden Horde, whereas if you kill a boss, you should gain locks to that boss for the future. The legendary server Shadowfax will be shutting down on this Wednesday. As soon as the servers go down for the update 36 update, the server of Shadowfax will no longer be available. So make sure if you have some stuff to do still on Shadowfax, get that done before the game goes down on Wednesday. There's not any rush to transfer off the server because transfers off of Shadowfax will be available through August 31st, so still a few months for you to transfer your character. But after the update on Wednesday, you will no longer be able to log on to Shadowfax. And we're ending this video with the biggest news of this Court of the Rings. The horse in Rivendell will be rescued. No longer will it be constantly doused with water, but instead less frequently, I believe. So the Rivendell horse is finally saved. Hey! Hey you! Yeah, you! What do you want? You enjoy my content and you want to support me? Fine, I'll show you how you can do it. I would really appreciate if you like the video and subscribe to my channel. You can also support me through my Ko-fi homepage. If you're playing or looking to play Lord of the Rings online, there is one place you need to be. The Ghyniverse is a Discord server created for the community of the players of Lord of the Rings Online. The server is getting close to 7,000 members, and in this server you'll find tons of helpful information. There's monthly giveaways, easy access to patch notes, you can keep up with my YouTube videos, my streams. If you're a streamer, you can ask for the streamer role and you can announce your streams in the other stream channel. There are discussion channels for pretty much everything, every class, monster players. But the best thing about this server is probably the Gearing Resources tab, where you can find anything from trait lines for every class, every build. There are stat goals, where you can find out what stats you should aim for on your characters. Really helpful information about drop rates from instances, as well as screenshot from all the new loot that appears in the game. If you enjoy LOTRO, you should definitely consider joining this server, and hopefully I'll see you in Middle-earth. If you were part of the Ghyniverse already, you might have noticed that another tab appeared at the top, the LFF server. This server is a brand new server that I created, the LFF Ghyniverse. In this server, you can select which servers you want to keep up with, and once you select your server, say you select Arkenstone, you will see the LFF, the kinship advertisement, looking for kinship and trade channels, and there's also voice channels if people want to use those. The LFF channel is basically a looking for fellowship channel where people can post if they need players for the runs, and this way people don't have to be logged into the game to see the chat, they can just instead get a notification on their Discord. There's also a kinship advertisement page where kins can post their kinship advertisement and have people join their kins. And you can also post in the looking for kinship chat if you're looking for a kinship, but make sure to take a look in the kinship advertisement first and look through all the kin to find a suitable kin for you. There's also a trade channel if people want to buy or sell stuff that you can use. Hopefully you'll consider joining this server to bring the community even more together, not just in the game, but also outside of the game.